From the studios of the Department of Communication in Phillipsburg, welcome to Next Level Thinking. Here are your hosts, Team APAP. Say Martin.
Hello and welcome to Next Level Thinking with your psychologist from APAP SXM. My name is Stephanie Hassett and I'm here together with Caroline van Oost and Sanne Gruiters. This program has been made possible by the Ministry of Public Health and DCOM. This program highlights topics that deal with the subject that matters most, ourselves. So last episode we discussed mindfulness, a mindset that can help you be more in the present, enjoy the smaller things in life. Now, this week we want to discuss happiness, right? The topic of this episode. What is happiness? What are we all achieving, trying to achieve this ultimate goal of happiness? We all know the feeling.
It's a good feeling, right?
It's a good feeling, exactly. It's a good feeling to just be happy. But what is it? How can we put it in words? What is happiness?
Oh yeah, that feeling that comes over you when, life is good and you can't help but smile. Just have that smile on your face. The thing we all want in life, the ultimate goal, happiness.
Right. So that's when everything and all is well. There's no troubles, no worries, no stress in the world.
Only laughing.
Only joy.
Yeah, and that's what we often, when we ask people, what do you want in life? Then people say, I want to be happy. It's the opposite of sadness. But yeah, what is it really? Is it indeed then all is good and all is well and all the birds are singing, and the...
Like a Disney movie.
The Disney movie in life, is that happiness? Does that exist?
Does it exist?
Is it something that happens around you? So your environment needs to be perfect. Another word that I...
Perfect. Yeah, that's an interesting discussion as well. Yeah. So happiness.
It sets high expectations, but happiness, is it around you? You have the perfect job, perfect. Your life, your kids, health, or is it something that is
within
internally state of mind? I don't know.
Interesting. I think if you would ask different people, they would give you different answers.
Let's say what the dictionary says.
What
Let's check
does the
that,
dictionary say?
The Oxford English Dictionary definition of happiness says the state of being happy.
That's it?
I feel we're still at the same point.
Okay.
So, then you go further on, you check what is it then? It's the feeling or showing pleasure or contentment. Mm-hmm. So what does it tell us? Yeah, not much, but it's more about, it's a state. It's not a trait. In other words, it isn't a long-lasting permanent feature or trait or personality, but more like a feeling, a changeable status. We talked a bit about mindsets, mind shifts with mindfulness last time. Happiness can also be seen sometimes as a shift, but then in an emotional level. So it is a moment of pleasure that you experience or fun or something good.
So then is it something that you can achieve? Like, okay, I achieved this goal to be happy and then that's it. I'm happy the rest of my life. It doesn't.
No, exactly, because it's not permanent. So you feel happy at that moment when you experience that. So it's a moment, a state, a moment that you feel a good feeling. And that can be happiness. Something different than joy or bliss or other more intense feeling. It's more, the happy is the average part. And then you have some extreme parts that's more like the bliss or the complete thrill that you can experience. But it is a temporary thing.
Right. And I guess it also varies, right? You can be a little bit happy, you can be very happy, you can be extremely happy. And is it something that you're only happy? Or are there other emotions that can accompany happiness? Can you be happy and sad at the same time?
I think you can.
Right.
Yeah, true.
So that it's this state. And what influences this state? What influences the state of being happy, of feeling happy? Where does it come from?
That's a good one. Well, can we measure happiness?
I don't think so.
Well, I know that nowadays, more and more within the psychology, there's a focus on that. Before, we were more focused on problems and, what is then wrong and sadness and anger. If you talk about emotions, those are most of the time the opposite ones of happiness. And we have 4 basic emotions as human beings, right? That's sadness, anger, anxiety, and happy. And then you got a lot of different nuances from those basic emotions. And happiness is then one of the basic emotions. But like you said, Stephanie, before, you can have a variety within the happiness range.
Right.
So you can have like, oh, I feel good today. I feel like extremely happy. I feel...
So it's not an on-off switch. It's not happy, not happy.
No, it's a certain degree of that feeling, indeed.
Right.
And
Right.
it's something that can be, like what you said before, Sanne, internal or external that you experience. You can feel happy from within, but also it is something else from your environment that gives you the happy feeling. For example, the smell of somebody or that friendly nod or...
And you know, the funny thing is, I think, because earlier I said, I think if you ask people, they would give you different answers. But to me, people do say that happiness is something that has to come from within. Everyone, you often hear it. We do want to measure our happiness based on our external items that we have. If we have luxury, if we can travel places, if we have certain freedoms. But on the other hand, you often hear people say you can have all those things.
The pleasure part.
Exactly.
But the contentment is also about,
yes, feeling good about yourself, feeling good within yourself, happy within yourself.
Yeah, so it's a combination of the internal and the external experience, I would say. But indeed, true happiness, that is the internal feeling for me. But if you look at, can you measure it? That is something you can see it with other people. You can see sometimes some people if they feel good, yes or no. They show that in their nonverbal behavior, but not always, right? Because don't let yourself be fooled by sometimes that smile that is on that person's face who might be from inside feeling really depressed. We know some of those examples of people who were depressed and people were like later on never knew about it until it was too late. So don't be fooled by the smile sometimes. But that is something that we link to feeling happy. So if you see somebody smiling, you think that person is happy.
Right. So we look at how does a person present themselves? What is their body language? Are they open? Do they stand tall? Do they stand strong and happy? Or I guess those little things, the confidence that you see, the smile on the face, maybe the eyes, how they're looking, what they're saying. So all these things we think, okay, that must be a very happy person if we encounter them.
Yeah, it can be an expression of happiness. But in that sense, we learned over the years quite a few things. It's not only by the nonverbal signs anymore that we measure it, but also by the inside parts. The hormones. We can measure the hormones. And there are actually hormones and neurotransmitters, chemicals in the brain that causes that happiness feeling within us.
Which are those?
Well, that's a quartet. You have the dopamine, the serotonin, oxytocin. That's a difficult word for me. Thank you, Stephanie. And yeah, those chemicals, they help you to, or they create that happy feeling in your brain.
And we all have those chemicals inside.
Yeah, it gets released in the brain and then gives you that happy feeling. And it can be triggered by events, but we also can make them flow ourselves. So that's good to know.
Right, because we don't all have them equally. Not everyone has the same amount or the same level of these four neurotransmitters of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, or endorphins. Everyone has a different chemical balance that we're made up of. So everyone needs there's a variety in what we need to experience happiness through these hormones.
Yeah, but like dopamine kind of motivates us to take action. You need that hormone to do things.
So that's our activator.
Exactly. It's kind of like the activator. And also, if you want to increase it, then physical activity has a great influence on that. And serotonin is there when you feel something is important or significant. And when you have low serotonin levels, then you feel more depressed. And oxytocin, the difficult one, yep. That is the hug hormone, the hugging
the cuddle
hormone, yeah. So, but that's also something that is like a social glue between people because did you know with that higher level of hormone, people tend to be more loyal to others. There's less cheating, for example. You also see that with animals when they have a higher level of that. And also with breastfeeding or childbirth, it plays an important factor. And even one of the professors says you need 8 hugs a day to increase that level of that hormone to feel good.
Okay. So
that's a good physical activity for the day just to be happy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just gives some people some hugs.
Did you ever hear about that guy who gave the random hugs, who like hugs for free?
Yeah.
He was just boosting that level of...
Exactly. So during the next segment, we'll discuss a little bit more about how to create that happiness state. How can we get there for ourselves? So stay tuned to Government Radio 107.9.
Next Level Thinking.